Have you noticed that something feels off in Dandy's World's Christmas event? Some bugs have been showing up during matches, and a lot of players only realize there's a problem when it's already too late. The issue is that many of these errors don't look like bugs at first, which makes people think it's just lag or a mistake on their own side. But when the same problems start happening on different maps, with different players, it becomes clear that something isn't working the way it should. And today, you're going to discover the strangest, most curious, and most problematic bugs from the Christmas event, including a few that can completely ruin your run. What makes this even weirder is that these bugs don't happen all the time. They show up randomly in specific matches, which makes a lot of players ignore them at first. But when more and more people start reporting the same things, it's obvious that this isn't just a coincidence. Right from the first few matches, you can already spot some very visual issues. Toons appearing in impossible places, toons climbing areas they should never reach, feet clipping through the floor, characters floating or getting stuck in parts of the map. Sometimes it looks harmless, but in other cases it can completely break the run, stopping the player from using machines, entering the elevator, or even continuing the game. Another bug that gets talked about a lot happens with the floors. Sometimes the ground bends, turns dark, or loses its normal texture. When that happens, it becomes hard to see hearts, trinkets, or even the path ahead. On smaller maps, it's already annoying, but on larger maps, it can be fatal. Some players have lost entire runs just because they couldn't see properly. And if you've ever noticed text appearing in weird places, you're definitely not alone. Messages floating too high on the screen, cut-off names, missing letters, or misaligned text are very common, especially in the lobby or at the start of a match. It sounds simple, but in important moments, it can really mess up communication. By the way, if you enjoy this kind of content and you've experienced any of these bugs yourself, drop a quick like. It really helps and shows that it's worth bringing more videos like this. Moving on, there are also bugs directly related to the toons themselves. Twisted hands, flipped arms, outfits disappearing, skins loading incorrectly, and even toons spawning in rooms where they shouldn't be, like dial rooms on higher floors. Some of these bugs are funny to look at, but others can completely break the game. There are also cases where the environment doesn't load correctly. The player looks like they're stuck inside an invisible box, the map doesn't render properly, or the toon walks without actually going anywhere. This often gets blamed on bad internet, but it happens even with stable connections, which points to an internal game or Roblox issue. On the ice maps, the problems seem even more frequent. Some toons get stuck when leaving the frozen area, others clip into the floor, or just stop responding to controls. This is especially dangerous because it can ruin an entire run, especially on higher floors. On top of that, there are strange situations where characters pass through solid objects, fly without jumping, or get chased in really odd ways by enemies. Sometimes it looks like hacking, but when it happens to many different players, it's clear that it's actually a bug. Not all of these issues cause direct damage, but many of them affect the experience, break immersion, and make the game feel unfair. That's why it's important to talk about them, show what's happening, and hope they get fixed in future updates. If you made it this far, you now know that the Christmas event didn't just bring festive vibes, but also a long list of strange and worrying bugs. So if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next videos.